I will regale you with tales of what I have not done right the first time, not including my first marriage. But that's okay. Well, that's not what this story is about. No. There are mechanical failures. Very few people can say that they have ruined 2 cars due to blown engine rods. You would think I would learn the first time. You really would. You would. You know, when your husband tells you, check the oil, you'll be fine. And you hear, it's all good, the oil's good, just keep going. And 11 o'clock at night, and you blow an engine rod with a baby in your car, and it's all fine. So when you have a daughter who has a car, you tell her, you check that oil. And you harp it in, but you know what? You got to tell her which stick it is. You can't check the transmission fluid. That's not the same as the oil rod. And if you're not rich, maybe you bought a car where the dipstick is broken in the first place and you can't really tell. But, so now we know. Now she knows and now I know. And so that's one thing. There are other things. I am a new soul. So this whole thing is a whole big fat learning experience. It's awesome. And so I just keep rolling with it. And I just keep trying things. I do stupid things like I was in a pageant in high school and I was going to play this hard song on the flute. But I know, band camp and all that, right? But I never went to band camp. But the thing is, if you're a nervous kind of person, which I sort of am, and you shake when you're nervous, you can't play the flute in a pageant in front of all these people. It doesn't work. But I made it through. Got a couple of balls. You just kind of keep going. You should not let people bully you on the bus. If you have a little fluffy hat, you should stick that in your pocket. Then you're not so scared. But the things I think of, you think of family. When you think around, I am the oldest of 3. And we have a lot of stories, and we had a lot of things from my parents who were kind of strict. Lovely family, but kind of strict. Things like when it was really cold and my brother and I were bored witless and we played in the garage. And I was afraid of dogs. That's another story. But we had our dog out there racing around in the garage, and something happens where you get scared, you jump up on the car and your brother jumps on you and you knock out your front tooth, and your mom has to take you and your baby brand new sister, to the dentist. That's another hindsight thing. You should not do that. You should be a little more aware. My brother and I have a lot of stories. A couple years ago, we did sit down and we brought in my mom and dad on a lot of those stories. I don't know if they believed me or not, but it was way too late. But one of my favorite stories, and the story that I'm thinking of tonight, was the 4th of July, and we had firecrackers. And firecrackers and the little smoke bombs. Do you remember those smoke bombs? And they're pretty. They're all pretty colors, and you lit them out in the driveway, and they have the smoke, and it's lovely. And I decided to save them. You bring those in the house with your type A dad, and you get the colored dust on the floor when your mom's in the hospital with your sister. Not so wise. So he told me to wash the floor. I didn't want to wash the floor. So I washed only part of it. And then my brother and I, being very close in age like we were, we decided to chase each other around and antagonize each other. And I went to tell on him. And he runs out on the wet floor and falls and breaks his leg, lands in the hospital with my sister and my mama. I got the beating of my life and got sent to the neighbors. But they loved me. So the whole point of my story is, if you're going to do something, do it right. Go all the way out. Wash the whole freaking floor. Just make everybody happy. It's more worth it. And don't hold back, even if you're afraid. That's what I'm thinking. You just go for it. You learn a little something in your ear, and it's all good. Thank you.